Hi, Stella here. Welcome to my video. And today I'm going to do a little baby girl album. I've prepped everything, so I've got no cover paper to show you, but you can use any papers, any decorative paper you want. So, first of all, I've got my box board, or chipboard if you prefer. It is 1100 GSM, it's very solid, and 1.8 millimeter thick. Okay, so I've got two at 7 inches by 5.5 inches. That's for the front and the back. Then you'll need a piece for the spine at 2.5 by 7 inches. Okay, so that's that. Now for my coverings, I've got 200 GSM white cardstock. I've got one for the front, one for the back, and one for the spine. Now what I did was, let me just grab my pencil. All these sides are 3/4 of an inch. So I put my card, measured it at 3/4 of an inch, and just drew around it. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Just borrowing my little ruler. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch there, and at the bottom, so that's 3/4 of an inch. Whoops. Sometimes it's hard to read these green, yellow things. Okay, we're starting at 3/4 of an inch there. So they should all be 3/4 of an inch. It's a little bit off that one, so, and I've probably taken it from that one. I have. So when I glue this on, I'll just go up a fraction. So what I did was, I added an 1.5 inches to the 7 inch, which would give me 8.5 inches, and then to the 5.5 inch side I added an 1.5 inches, which makes me 7 inches. So let's just see how we measured. I've got 8 3/4 and I shouldn't have. That's okay. And 7. So we are just going to cut that. Okay, so that gets us 7 inches across there. And on this one I'll take off from this side 8.5. Well, then I would just remeasure 3/4. That's 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. So I'm going to use tape. You can of course use glue. I'm using the 3/4 inch tape. Just go around giving it a border. So anyhow, I had 2 packs of these baby daydream things, papers that went together, but there was only 10 sheets in each pack. And once I designed the album, I thought, oops, you don't have enough. So I've used a lot of scraps as well that tied in with the colour scheme. Plus I've used the scraps from cutting out the matting for my pages, and I'll explain that when we get to the pages. My favourite glue. Well, that was loud. Let's hope my voice isn't fading into the background, as it usually does. Okay, where that writing is, that's where we go, and I'm going to put some glue. Come on, dear. That's away. You can do it. Obviously not. Got a bit of a blockage, I think. Oh yeah, big blockage. Just putting a little bit of glue in these gaps. Okay, that looks about right to me. Flip it over. Smooth it so you can see all those ridges. Okay. Now I like to cut my corners. I'm leaving just the thickness of the box board there. I'm just eyeballing it. So you'd eyeball your own. A little bit off there. Oh, you can't be super duper accurate, otherwise you'd be measuring every 2 minutes, which takes up time. Okay, so we go to fold. Fold and crease. This 200 GSM is absolutely brilliant. I don't get any cracking. It's made by Quill. Okay. I might just use a little bit of tea just on the front of this. Just go across there, I will. So I'll just use my finger. Make sure they're stuck down really well. Give it a really good burnish. Remove the backing. Now we want a bit of glue right along. Okay. We really are having problems with this. Okay, bit of glue right along here, and that's going to be squashed in right across here, and at the corners, and we'll just go flip. That is absolutely straight and flat. I'm squeezing my little corners in there so that you can't see the box board once I cover it. See, I have perfect corners there. You can't see the box board. They're nice and straight and flat. Perfect. Okay, I'm doing this next piece in exactly the same way. Okay, I've got them back and front. Now we're going to, excuse me, again, do the spine. Now that's done a little bit differently. We still get the 3/4 inch. inch on either side, and we fit that right in there. It's just a little bit off, but it's okay. It's okay. And the top and bottom are about 1/2 inch. That's about 1/2 inch. You don't really have to be pedantic about these measurements. Just make them as close as you can to leaving the same spacing. I'm just going to put 3 rows down there. Okay, the cardstock I'm using, as I said, is Quill, and it is 200 GSM. And just grab it. 100 pack. It's A3. And I don't have a drawer big enough for it. Anyway. It sometimes comes in packs of 25, and so that would be your best buy. I'm not exactly sure how many sheets I used, but it wasn't more than 25. Considerably less, because being A3, you really do get quite a bit of the pages out of it. All the pages are made using this cardstock. Don't need that tape actually. For doing these, we're going to fold up the short ends only, and tuck that a little bit in there, and tuck that a little bit in there. Now, I discovered this method just recently from Country Craft Creations. I think she calls it a flat something. I can't remember. Okay, then we're going to turn it to this side. Now we're going to do some burnishing, and then we want to take this, take your bone folder right next to the box board. I should probably call it chipboard, in case you think I'm using the corrugated box thing, which I'm not. then you've got those ridges there. So your front and your back are going to go there and there. Okay, so let's just put, excuse me, a little bit of so that I don't go right up, I don't want to go right up to that fold there with the glue. So I'm just taking that little bit, I'll go all the way across there with that goodly amount of glue without saturating it. And then on the wrong side of this, I'll go 1/8 of an inch down and just put a line across message. And then push it right up against that. Flip it over, burnish down really well. And you see how that opens? It opens beautifully. Okay, turning over to the other side. Pop our guide in there. Now if you had it too close to that fold, you would have some tearing when you opened it. It would just look awful. So that's got to be free. Push right up there. Our outside. That's beautiful. Righto. Now we're going to do our, no we're not. I haven't cut this out yet. Stella. I just want this as actually the same as that. So that's what, 2.5 inches by 7. Let's just go cut that out. And 2.5. Of course you did. I think we might be getting a little bit flat here. Okay, let's just make sure we've got the right measurements here. That's it, that's all we need. especially on the edges, but I can glue any spaces, so that's okay. I'll trim off any excess tape. Going to put a little bit up there and a little bit along there too. The sides are okay, but it doesn't hurt. A little bit of extra glue. Now it's important that the top and the bottom are straight. And this has to be really strong because this is where your hinge is going to sit. So make sure that is covered with your tape and some glue. Right, now the hinge. The hinge measures 6.5 by 8. Okay, put that on your scoring board. And score at 1 inch, and then every ½ inch until you get to the last one is 7.5. Okay. So 1 inch first, and then every ½ inch. Okay, now I marked them a valley, the first one, and then mountain, mountain, because you fold them up to create the mountain. Then we have a valley, mountain, mountain. That gets folded like that. Valley, mountain, mountain. Valley, mountain, mountain, and then we've got 2 valleys. Okay, so I'll flip it over the other side, and I'm just going to use glue for this. I'm going to glue in between those mountains, just on one side. And then fold it over. Burnish really well to get that glue spread. Okay, next mountain. And fold that over. And next mountain. And the last mountain. Now it's quite important to make sure that you are straight and valleys are straight, your mountains are straight. So we've got 4 mountains, so we're going to have 4 pages. those creases there mark the creases, they match the creases of the cover. Okay, so while I put tape on here, and put tape all over this section, all over here, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I had to go for a while. We had a visitor. Okay, where am I? Right, I put tape on the back of my hinge. Now don't worry about what you see here and here, because there will be a strip going across here, so that will cover that, so don't worry about it. What we're going to do now is remove our tape. Sorry, I'm just a wee bit breathless for some reason. To tuck in any excess that I missed. Okay, and we've got about 1/4 of an inch top and bottom. So just pop it there. Make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Okay. This is my trial with this method, this flat method, and I'm not 100% sold yet. Not 100%. Right. Okay. Now I've cut this. It's not as big as I wanted, so I cut it at 5 3/8 by 6 3/4, which is supposed to give me that little bit of 1/8 around. It does, except it gives me a bit more. Oh no, it fits. It fits. But I rather like it to be a bit longer, so I'm not going to use them. I'm going to cut another piece. So we are going with zippers came out the plastic. So, okay, it's 7 inches long, so I'm going to go for 6 7/8. And across is 5.5, so I'm going to go with 5 3/8. 5, 1, 2, 3/8. Okay, let's see if this will work. Closer to the edges, I like it. Yes. Perfect. Another 5 3/8. Good, eh? You don't really have to completely cover it with white paper. You could put your decorative paper, excuse me, it's out of breath, I'm trying to catch up. You could put your decorative paper straight on there. But I'll go for the added security of adding that. So then I could decide on how I want my, what do you call it, decorative paper. I can have it any size I want. Or I can make pockets if I want on the front. So let's go with some tape. Tape it around, bordering it. And then 3 in the middle. And you know I've got some overhangs here. Quite substantial overhang. Probably hear that kind of humming in the background. That's my computer, my hard drive. It's noisy. My fan probably needs cleaning. Okay. Put in some glue in there as well to help us. Okay, it's these outside edges I want as close to that 1/16 of an inch as possible. Beautiful. Same with the other one. I've actually spent hours measuring and cutting out everything so I don't have to do it while you watch. Burnish them well. Backing comes off the wider tape, ouch, easier than it does with the narrower tape. Stab myself, am I bleeding? No. Okay, let's just make sure any overhangs are tucked in. We're cool. Some glue happening here. Looks pretty perfect to me. Well, pretty close to, oh look at, that's all right. See, with doing this method, the flat thingy, I mean I love the outside, but that means underneath this one I've got not only the overhang from here, the fold over, I've also got the fold over from the spine, so I've got double fold over there. Then I've got the actual hinges itself, so I'm not sure that I'm keen on it. Normally I use construction tape or cloth tape, which I really love to use, but I thought I'd try this. Love it at the front, absolutely, it's brilliant, but in here not so much. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We're going to put something across here before, let's see, I'm using some pink textured cardstock, and these are for in the middle there. So let's glue them on. And these are just about 3/8 of an inch, which fits nicely inside your 1/2 inch gully there. Okay. going to be using this textured paper also to cover the front and back before I put decorative paper on, whatever I'm going to do there. So this is what I'm going to put on. Come on. And this didn't go over as much as I thought it would, so I'm not going to put one on there. I'm not going to put one on there unless I cut this down. So I'll leave that for thought for the moment, and then I'm just going to cut this right across to the beginning of that paper there, and right across to the beginning of it here. I need to trim this to 1/4 inch, so just take that 1/8 off, and I'm just eyeballing. Definitely not keen on that method. I wouldn't be happy to do this if I didn't have that. Do the same with this side. Off 1/8 inch thereabouts. Fit it in there. Okay, next step is I'm going to show you the pages. Okay, now our base page I've already done one, half done. So what we've got here is a concertina. This goes out. I've covered one piece. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 places for photos. So let's get some measurements happening here. Okay, this is the actual page here, and it's open both ends at the moment. And that is the back of it. Is 7.5 by 5.25. So you've got 7.5 across and 5.25 down. Let's just double check. Yes, and 5.25. And then the front of the, oops, crease it at 1/2 inch from the beginning and 1/2 inch from the end. And then we're going to fold our creases. Crease them very well. And our front piece, which goes on top with those folds inside, is 6.5 across by 5.25 down. Okay, and first up we are going to just take a snippet off there, just a snippet, just to the crease line. Now from the crease line up, just a snip. And we're going with tape for this one, and I'm using the 1/4 inch tape. I'm taking it to the edge. And here we're taking our little snippet off both sides. One piece of tape right next to the fold. And both a good burnish. Now let's pull one of them just down 1 inch or so. Just put a smidge of glue right in the middle of there, not much. Match them up so that they match up on every line and every corner matches. And pull that out. Okay, on this side, again just a snug line through there. Make sure it all matches. Beautiful. Okay, so there's our page. Now what we need to do is all our concertina pieces. Let's see how many I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 6. Okay, just put these there for a sec. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the concertina pages are 5.5 across the narrow end and 6.5 down. And if you put the 5.5 piece across your scoring board, 1/2 inch down, right along that 6.5 inch length. And then we are going to fold them over. Make sure they're pretty well straight, otherwise you could have a bit of a problem. There, you can see it. I'm probably having a little trouble because I very lightly score. Let me just give this another score. Okay, now on all of these we're going to snip our little corners. Okay, so here's our page. Now first, our first concertina page, we'll put some glue on the inside of that flap there. And we're going to pop that into your page here. Come on. Okay, for some reason this one is just a little bit over. still open. Don't worry about that at the moment. Now, this one, you've got your opening here. This is going on to the actual spine. You've got your first concertina here. So if this goes this way, then this one is going to go that way. So we'll put tape, glue. You can use tape if you wish. I'm going to put glue on here. This is on the outside of the fold, the outside one. Let's just grab a piece of cardboard. So make sure you line up that straight line with the previous page and on the edge. So page, one concertina and the second concertina. So the second concertina gets folded that way. Just a little bit off on the fold there. Okay, from here, I'm going to add another one. That's going to go that way. Again, we're going to put glue on this outside piece. Match up the edge and the corner. That edge and that corner. Match up the page. Turn it to face you again. The next one goes this way. On the edge there, make sure we evened. Yep. Okay, do this again so that you're opening facing you. And we put the last one in. Same way. Oh, it's not the last one, we've got one more. Ooh. Turn it so that the opening is facing me. It does make it easier if you can put a piece of coloured paper or card in front of you. that's going to go onto our hinge. And there we've got wrong side, that's it. So I like to put a pencil mark, if I could just find my pencil. This is the part that's going down onto this side, so that the opening is on this side. And you open that. Right, now we need the closure, which is these two pieces. I've chosen this one. Oh, it's the same as that. Let's just choose something different. Oh, already made. I forgot. Okay, this piece, which is going with the opening there, this is 4, no, can't read my own writing, 5 inches by 4 1/8. But you can just do it straight with 4. I chose that 5 by 4 1/8 to accommodate this right in the middle with a nice border around. Okay, so take it to your scoring board, and with the 5 inches across the top, score at 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch, and crease them, and you have that. That 1/4 inch is going to accommodate all your pages plus any photographs that you put in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is just going to glue this decorative paper onto the front. Now, on this side, we are going to put a magnet. Okay, just open up this side of your page. Remember, this is my page going down. So on the other side of that, which is still open, we are going to put glue across the inside of this, just the flap, not that 1/4 inch. Now we're going to slip it in the centre it as best you can. or you can have it offset if you want. Come on, I'm having a bit of trouble here. That's it. Just turn it over. Just finish that there. So you can see you've got that, oops, that 1/4 inch there, and it's held inside that pocket there, which I am going to close. So I'm going to close it now. What I'm going to do is put a bit of glue across, and just close that up. Okay. Get our magnets. And this piece, oh shoot, I forgot to put, no, don't mind me. We're going to pop our magnet. No, just hang on, forget the magnets for now. Put the concertinas up until you've got the bottom of your page here. Now this piece is cut at 2 inches by 5 inches. Put it on your scoring board, put the 5 inches across the top, score it 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Again, that's going to give you that 1/4 inch in there. Probably pop it in now. Place some glue on the flap, not nowhere near the 1/4 inch. Centre that. With that one. I'm just a tiny bit off there, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to put my magnet on here first. About there. Piece of tape. To go over there. Make sure if your paper is directional, front, back, that's it. You can either tape this or glue. Remove the tape backing from the magnet, and I'm going to put a bit of glue around there. And fit this. Oops. Ooh. Heavy-handed there, Stills. Doesn't look like I've got any glue on that piece there. So let's just put a little bit in there, thank you. Vanish this all around and around the magnet. So, okay, for this one, we're going to make sure that we are straight, and that is straight. Bit of glue on the top of that magnet. And that gives me a point where that magnet needs to go. Put some tape on. Now let's just test it. Beautiful. Now we're going for the matting. Now inside the matting I've chosen a floral, 1 7/8 by 4 1/8, I think. 1 7/8 by 4 1/8, yeah. There's so much measuring and cutting lately. I forget what I'm doing. Okay, oops. That's it. Now I can see I've got a bit of thickness there that I want to get rid of. Glue around the magnet. Whoopsie-daisy. Goes that way. And on the front, I'm going to put this green, same size. 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. Sure that is stuck all the way around. Okay, on this one we put a little rabbit. I'm going to do the same with this. Hang on, have I done that one? That's the stole one from someone else. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of card. And I have a few offcuts. And I've had a few offcuts with the paper as well. So I'll show you in a minute what I did with that. my circle cutting is not accurate, not by any means. Not by any means at all. Anywho, we are going to pop that, see where that magnet is? We can pop that on there. And I'm not going to glue it flush with that, doesn't need it. Okay. So now we can put this in here. Let's use 1/2 inch tape. On the right to the fold, totally away from the crease. Right at the fold and away from the crease. So if you have any overhang, which you really shouldn't, it'll be up here. Okay, this is our front. I'm just going to mark the front here. This is our first page. So let's just take this tape off an inch or so. Bring in any dags that are there. Now we're going to grab this. Probably best to wait, because I closed that. Probably best to wait till you've done this, because then you've got a better handle on it. Yeah. Anywho, this goes in there. Seriously? Just going to check out what I've done there. I just had to check something. And what I've forgotten to do is take out like an 1/8 of an inch snip on that. On both sides. That is going to cause a bit of a problem. Sorry about that. That should have been done before I even added it. And it also helps if you've got sharp scissors. So let's do all of them. 1/8 of an inch right down to the point there. 1/8 down to there. Need to taper off those edges for things to fit better. Okay, back we go through our page. there. Sorry, I paused it while I had another measure. Forgot to turn it back on, so I've just slipped it over that hinge, pull the backing of the tape out, make sure we are flush and flat. Okay, at the back, we're going to just go in and grab that backing. That's what I've got. It's a bit dicey. There we go. That's that one page in. Now when you do these corners, make sure, obviously you'll do them before you mount this into your album. Make sure you go right to the corner, right to where your crease is. This is the one I did before. Make sure it fits beautifully. What do we need? Tape. This one. Place it at the fold. Okay, we're just going to trim off any excess tape there. There. Come on, you don't want to be there. You don't need to be there. Right, let's pull that back. And you see how it's much better if you don't close it yet. You can just, so easy. Just fit it. Oops. Fit. Now we're going to remove that tape. Stand it up and fit it down. pages with concertinas in. So I'll put the other two in off camera because it's exactly the same way. But first up, okay, I want you to make your own measurements here. My measurements for this, do them before you put your pages in, is 6 1/4 down by 4 3/4 across, and this is for the matting. I've cut all my mats. Now let me just explain what I did with these. I had two 10-inch square, I think they were, yeah, paper pads, and they only had 10 pages, double-sided pages. So that gave me 20, not quite 20 because yeah, 20. But each page has got room for 14. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. So 13 times 4 is 52. So I needed some extras. And I could only get one mat out of one 10-inch piece. So I kept all the scraps, kept them all, and that is my measurements. And I've got about 1/8 of an inch around, which I'm happy with. Okay, this piece I printed out myself from some pretty paper I had, pretty graphics I had on my computer. And this is from the decorative paper, as is this and this. Now this one, this is one I printed out myself. Yep, I'll show you where that came from actually. There was a strip. I'm sure I've got it in here somewhere. Can't find it. Anywho, I printed that one out. So what I did here was I measured what I had, and then I added an equivalent amount. Let's see. I measured this piece to be 4 1/4, so I needed to add a hang on. That's not 4 1/4. 3 1/4. I measured 3 1/4, so I needed to add 1.5 inches. So I cut a piece that was the same length, 1.5 inches, and then I matched them together and put tape down the back to join them. And then I just put another strip of the green polka dot there, and I've got a page, a matching page. Now this one, I did the same. I joined that piece on, measured them to make the length, and this wasn't quite wide enough, so I added another strip here. This is using your strips, using your scraps. problems with it. Oh, that's how I made that one. I took that off, well, scanned it up, took that bit off and made that paper. It's a little bit lighter, but I'm okay with that. Okay, you can either tape or glue it. For this first one, I'm actually going to tape just making sure the measurement's correct, because this first one is a bit longer, so forget about that one just now. I'll take that. I'll cut another one for that, a little bit wider. Because remember, our pages are just that little bit shorter down that side. So use up all your scraps making those extra matting pages. Join them together with your tape. And I also added a few pieces from very similar colours from my other scraps. This is almost like a make-do. And we can go that side, which is quite nice, or that side. But I like Memories Stay Forever. I like that. And you could use, well, you can use obviously any paper you want. But the finish of this one is definitely for a little girl. And you'll see when we get to the front covers what I mean by that. Make sure that your corners are well glued. Which sometimes they're not when you're using glue. So it's no big deal to just come back and correct that. Now, what do we have there? That one, or that one? I'm going with that. And you could actually mat these papers straight after you you put the concertina together before adding it to the album, which is probably a better idea. push out to the corners of the glue. That's fine. Next one over. Should we go with that, or nope. That's the front of the pack. Daydream. Remove the backing tape from where you've joined them. This is a reasonably fast drying glue, so I've got to be on the ball with it. I think that one was meant for there. Oops. think we've got a blockage. Yep. Got to fix my glue. Oh, I could go that one. That looks nice. Or that one. I'm thinking that one. That's better. Ooh, we are a little bit crooked there. Okay. I think we'll choose this one, this side. Something from way over here somewhere. Let's use that one. And this one, I cut that out and then joined a piece of gingham on the side. So we have that tape to remove, because you don't have to remove the backing. I don't think. I think glue will stick to the backing, I'm not 100% sure. glue, I suppose. Make sure you've got it the right way up. That's it. So I guess, what did I say, there was 13 in each, and you've got 4, that's 40, 52. You may, if you choose like a whole 12 by 12 decorative paper pack, I'd say 14 because you need to do the backing as well. Trying to think if you would need more. Of course, it would depend on the amount of pages and whether they're double sided or not. So I would probably go for a 12 by 12 and then add a 6 by 6 to it. Okay, it's 2 more. I'll leave that one. Something else, another page. I'm going to spread them around, you know. Let's pick this one. Let's pick that one for there. Matter which side you put that on. So I'll just go over that way. Get that glue happening in the corners and the edges. Oh no, we need a bigger one there. I haven't cut it out yet, so. Well, that's all I'm going to do today. I've taken up enough of your time. So, here we've got our flat cover album. Now, not really enamoured with, but anywho, we've covered it, we've put our hinges on, we've cut and made our pages. Got 2 more to go, so we've got the 7.5 by 5.25 plus the 6.5 by 5.25, and then you just score them at 1/2 inch on either side of that long piece. Make sure they're straight. Sometimes I'm not. And then we glue or tape the front piece to the back. Another one of those to do. And then concertinas. They are 6.5 across the length there, and no, yeah, 6.5 by 5.5, and you score. Put the 5.5 side on your scoreboard and score it 1/2 inch. And then you're going to want to snip out those corners. And then fold on your crease line. And then you're putting your first concertina inside the top area of your page. It's going to be awkward for me because I haven't glued those down yet. So that's your first concertina. Okay, and I'm sure you've got it from there. Okay, I will probably go and put in another page off camera, and maybe even both pages, and I'll come back for another video. I hope this is going to be as cute as I think it will be. You'll just have to wait and see. Thank you very much. Oh, 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I hope you fast forwarded a lot. Thanks very much for being with me. I'll see you in video 2. Bye.